Hello everyone, my name is Braden, this is Airless Quill 9, and in today's video, I want to give you all a sneak peek at a campaign that I will be running and releasing weekly videos on this channel for called Sands of Doom. So Sands of Doom is a homebrew Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure created by Fermin Caballero. That's MrRhexx Games. So MrRhexx has a YouTube channel. I'll include a link to both his YouTube channel as well as the store where you can find this particular adventure. So you can take a look at it if you wish. So yeah, that'll be included in the description. You can also hear in the background the music playing for this campaign. This is music that was written by Travis Savoy. That's RPG Music Maker, or Music Maker rather. I will include links to both his channel as well as the Sands of Doom playlist if you want to take a listen to that particular music as well as any of his other content. So look in the description for that as well. But yeah, this is Sands of Doom. So this is a adventure that I will be running for at least the foreseeable future until its completion, rather, with a group of friends that I've been friends with for over a decade at this point. So this will be a lot of fun and something that I'm looking forward to. So yeah, let me give you a brief rundown of what this campaign entails, and I'll also talk about the main characters of this campaign as well. So brief content warning about stuff in this campaign. So this is a mature campaign with a variety of mature themes. Some of the themes included in this campaign are going to be some sexual content, suicide, some light nudity, graphic violence. There are depictions of infanticide as well as crucifixions. So some pretty mature themes. And if any of those are triggers for you or something that you really don't want to hear about, then this is probably not the sort of adventure that you would like to listen to. But all that being said, even though the setting is very mature, my friends and I are a jovial sort, so we'll be cracking jokes and having fun throughout the course of this campaign. So it won't be all dour, but there are some very mature themes in the setting. So this will be a serious campaign, a very brutal and violent campaign that we will be running. So do keep that in mind if you don't like any of that. But yeah, let me talk briefly about the actual setting real quick. So this here is Al-Karat, and I'll go ahead and get my display down and remove that window. Yeah, so this is actually, I'll move myself over here real quick. So this is Al-Karat, or this is the desert of Karat, as the land is called. You can see that well, this is mostly a desert-themed campaign. The actual setting is in the desert region of Karat. This is a harsh and unforgiving land with limited resources and scarce water. This is a place that is brutal and violent, and it's a rough landscape. The dark sand you can see here, this is called the Wasteland. It is infected with a thing that is called rust in the game world, and rust makes the desert itself unforgiving. It actually prevents characters from gaining the benefits of long rests. So it's a pretty devastating, brutal wasteland. It is also prevents the casting of a bunch of magics that would otherwise help you survive in regions that are scarce on like food and water. So it's pretty difficult and unforgiving living in this sort of place. The only safe havens are oases. You can see there's one included here called the Oasis of Sarai. One of the main characters is from this location, but the majority of the player characters are from this town here called Al-Kharat. And Al-Kharat is a city that was created by a group of nomadic tieflings some 20 years ago. They came here after escaping persecution at the hands of a bunch of human kingdoms from a faraway land. So they came here as refugees, and they have built a life for themselves here. And we are 20 years after that point, so there is some established stuff here. The other important thing to note here is there is an important historical event that occurred a decade ago called the Beast Wars. This involves a conflict that was between the people of Al-Kharat and the beast folk of the Beastlands. So they had a pretty devastating and violent conflict with each other, fighting for water in the region and other reasons. So the Beastlands and the citizens of Al-Kharat had a war for a decent amount of time, and that war has ended, but there are still some hostilities between beast folk and the Kirati, which are what the citizens of Al-Kharat are named. So most of the citizens of Al-Kharat are tieflings, but there are other people such as humans. There are orcs in the setting. There are, of course, beast folk, which include all types of bestial species such as harpies, lizard folk, kenku, minotaurs, and a bunch of other options, which we will talk about because some of my characters are playing beast folk species as well in the setting. But the main crux of this campaign is that recently the city of Al-Kharat discovered, with the combined efforts of the nation of Ogrilla. Ogrilla is a nation of orcs in the setting. Through combined efforts, they discovered a massive archaeological find, which they're calling the Great Pyramid. This has sparked a lot of interest and a lot of commerce and trade in the city in the nation. So they have opened up the borders of their nation to help excavate this large Anubian ruin. So the main characters are all people who have decided to join the last caravan to the Great Pyramid in order to gain wealth or prestige from this archaeological find. So that is the main driving point of this particular campaign. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the characters now, because that's going to be pretty important. I'll move myself back over here, and I can get rid of that now. All right, so I have 6 players in my campaign, so I will go over all of the main characters here in alphabetical order. Let's say, yes, we'll go alphabetical order. All right, so the first character I'm going to talk about is Garfrim. Garfrim is a orc barbarian who took the farmer background. They are actually a dinosaur trainer. They currently employed at the biter pens of Al-Kharat, where they train dinosaurs. So that is Garfrim's background. He is an orc from the nation of Ogrilla, who has migrated and moved to the nation of Al-Kharat, and has finally decided to join the last caravan out of the city to gain some fame and fortune at the this new archaeological find. Particularly, Garfram is driven by the need to find something that is important to his culture. Orcs in the setting of Sands of Doom are driven by a desire to gain entrance to their heaven, which is something particular to the setting. Orcs of this setting, they worship a being known as the Great Serpent, I believe, if I remember correctly. Or sorry, the Silent Snake is what it is called. And they worship a being known as the Silent Snake. And all orcs want to enter a paradise, which is their version of heaven, called Aurora, which is the highest plateau of their realm, and that is where they believe that they all ascend into heaven. But Garfram in particular is looking for something important on this particular dig. He wants to find something that will grant him entrance to that paradise before his death. And Garfram is the oldest character in our campaign. He's a 70-year-old orc, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he's 70 years old, so he is getting near the end of his life, and this is one of his last hurrahs. He is working on finding that special item that is going to gain him access to Oro. So yeah, he's on probably his last journey and looking to gain something good from that. So yeah, that is the first character, Garfram. A very interesting character, and I'm excited to see how that character turns out. All right, next up on the list, we have the second character, Kiara Bloodmoon. So Kiara is a pretty interesting character. She's one of the Beast Folk, a Tabaxi monk. We gave her a custom background called the Pugilist, so she could have access to the Tavern Brawler feat. So that is something key to her character, because she wanted some of the benefits of the Tavern Brawler feat from that. And yeah, this is pretty much her character. Kiara is a Tabaxi. She is unique amongst her tribe. She was born albino, so she's an albino tiger-like Tabaxi, which caused some issues to her. For her in particular, because the Shining Plains and the desert of Karat are not really the same shade as her particular fur color. She was viewed as having some disability because it's going to be very hard for her to survive. So her family moved to a area in Karat called Breath of Life, and that is where she was raised. She has some traumatic backstory involved with the Beast Wars. She has lost some friends during that point, but Kiara has built herself back up. She has gained some notoriety in a place in the city of Alcarat called the Ember Ring. This is a coliseum where a bunch of games are held. So she has gained a name for herself in the gladiatorial games of that particular coliseum, and has gained some notoriety and fame because of that. So she's has been able to move herself and her family to the main city of Alcarat, and that is a sense of pride for her. But now she's looking at expanding her horizons, and she wants to start going on some adventures. So she has joined this last caravan out to the Great Pyramid to discover a sense of adventure and to quell some of the wanderlust that has been growing in her particularly. So yeah, pretty interesting character. Excited to see what my player has planned for this character. And yeah, that's Tiara Blood Moon. Next up, we have the only tiefling in our party, so this is a pretty interesting character. This is Navin de Crownwell, locally known as Nazim de Crownwell. Navin, as he's known by his friends, is a tiefling paladin with the noble background. And the nobles of Al Karat are all merchant families. The merchants are the nobility of the city, because the nobility of Al Karat is pretty much based upon who has the best monetary wealth in the city. And so the Crownwell family has built itself up from simple merchants. They have gained control of some surplus of the metallurgy industry in the city of Al Karat. And yeah, that is the background that Navin is from. So Navin has some noble connections, both to his family and to some of the other merchants in the city. He's not well traveled. He's actually looking to gain some notoriety for himself, build himself up as a well-respected and known noble in the city, since he is just the son of a noble family at this point. So he is trying to build himself up and gain some notoriety by joining this caravan to the Great Pyramid. So yeah, that is Navin de Crownwell. Pretty interesting character. I'm excited to see how he plays and what he wants to do with this character. So yeah, that is the paladin of the party. Next up on our list, we have Raynor Goldenshield. This is a really interesting character that one of my friends is playing. So Raynor is one of the two humans in the group. They are a human fighter with the artisan background. Raynor specializes in black smithery. That is because Raynor was adopted at an early age. He lost his parents at some point in his when he was a child, and he was adopted by a smith named Grenmere, a dwarven smith who has raised him since he was a baby. So yeah, that is Raynor's character. So this is a pretty interesting character. Raynor is a human who is ingrained in the unique dwarven culture of the setting. Dwarves in the setting of Al Karat have a large majority of them have migrated to the city of Al Karat because they lost their nation in the dry peaks of Tarakur, which I can show on the map real quick. Tarakur is this mountain range here. They lost their kingdom millennia ago to a species of insectile insectile species that took over their kingdom. They had to leave their kingdom, and they collapsed all passages into the mountain to keep them locked there. So the dwarves are have lost their kingdom, and now they are scattered across the desert of Karat, and some of them have taken refuge and have lived in Al Karat for the past since its inception. And yeah, Raynor is connected to that culture, and he is battling between the culture that he has grown up in and the fact that he is a human and not a dwarf. So he has dual loyalties ingrained into him. So he's trying to bring those two parts of his character together and come to terms with that. But it's not the easiest thing. So yeah, pretty interesting character. Raynor is has been gifted a special weapon in the setting called a Grimfire pistol. This is a specialty pistol that normally only dwarves have access to, but since he was raised by a dwarf, since he was raised by the dwarf Grenmere Goldenshield, his father has gifted him his Grimfire pistol to keep him safe on this adventure that he is about to go on. And the Grimfire pistol is a one-shot pistol. It has an explosive round with it, so it is a powerful weapon that you can only use once. So if he gets in trouble, that is going to be something that he can use to get out of danger. But once he uses it, he's going to have trouble finding more shots for that pistol. So we'll see what he does with this character throughout the course of the campaign. But yeah, that's Raynor, and I'm pretty excited to see what kind of journey this character goes on. Next, we have Saurus Dune Runner. So Saurus is a druid from the Oasis of Zerai, which is on this map here in the center, or not the center, in the midst of the wasteland. So he is very familiar with the dangers of rust and the brutality and unforgiving nature of the desert itself. Saurus in particular lost his wife in the desert after traveling from the city of Alcarat back to the Oasis, so he has some personal trauma from that, but he's left behind a son in the Oasis of Zerai, which is currently being cared for by his parents. So Saurus is trying to find some personal answers for his character. So Saurus is a human druid with the guide background, and he's trying to get over the loss of his wife, which occurred, I think, 1 or 2 years ago. I think it was a year prior to the start of this campaign. But yeah, Saurus has joined the expedition to the Great Pyramid as a guide, and he has some personal trauma that he's trying to get over. So pretty interesting character here, and excited to see where he runs. This is the second human in the party, so yeah, this is a pretty interesting character. I'm excited to see where he goes. All right, the last character in this party is Topaz. Topaz is the second beast folk in the party. She is a Haragon rogue with the entertainer background. So yeah, Topaz is a pretty interesting character. She has connections to one of the local brothels in Alcarat. She's not a courtesan of the brothel herself, but she is friends with the employees there, and as well as the madam of the burning velvet brothel called Madame Oriana. So she has some interesting connections there. Topaz has some similar qualities. She is looking to make a name for herself, and she's a little naive and trying to just gain some understanding of the world and bring some life and spark into her character. Topaz is the only non-medium creature in the party, so that's going to be pretty interesting to see how that helps her mechanically. Excited for that because I like small characters. And yeah, pretty interesting character. Her name is Topaz because of the color of her eyes. But yeah, pretty excited to see where this particular character goes. And yeah, that is all 6 characters. So I have Garfram, the Orc Barbarian, Kiara, the Tabaxi Monk, Navin, the Tiefling Paladin, Raynor, the Human Fighter, Saurus, the Human Druid, and then finally we have Topaz, the Haragon Rogue. So those are all of the characters for this campaign, and I'm excited to see where this adventure takes them. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this particular video. I hope all this is interesting. Hope you wish to join us on this adventure that we will be experiencing together. So yeah, thank you all for watching this video, and I will catch you all in the first episode of this campaign. So see you all later. Thanks.